Spanish Fork, welcome to the Road Show, episode 3. We're excited to talk about some of the projects we've completed. We're also going to talk about snow as that weather's changing and snow's coming. We're going to talk winter parking, snowplow operations, and how that all works. To start us off today, I'm joined with our Streets and Stormwater Senior Operator, Gentry Mitchell. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you being here. So let's talk kind of snow plowing, how it all runs, how it works. First off, do you even like snow plowing?
Love snow plowing. It's probably one of our favorites for the majority of us, at least.
Okay. What makes it so fun?
Man, it's therapeutic, I guess you could say. People always waving, friendly hands and everything, so it makes it enjoyable.
Yeah, you're usually the heroes.
Absolutely.
Coming around.
Yep.
Well, that's exciting. So last year was a big year, a lot of snow, a couple of big storms. What were some of your highlights from last year?
Highlights, it was everyone on the crew coming together. I mean, we were called out so many times throughout the winter. By far the most we've plowed. And it helps when everyone's there to help you, so.
So you're by yourself, right? In your own rig, in your own truck?
Yes.
But it still feels like you're working as a team?
Yeah, we're always on the radios asking where people have hit. And we also got a GPS on our iPads that'll show you where you've been. So it makes it pretty helpful.
Sweet. So last year, we have a couple stats here. Last year alone, last winter, we used over 3,000 tons of salt. Mm-hmm. And 1,226 man hours. So I did some quick math. That means 1,226 hours. If you were the only one plowing and you worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it would have taken you 51 days to plow it all.
Yes.
Have you ever seen snow like that before in your career?
No, not that frequent. No, I mean, we've had our big storms where we've been out 16 to 18 hours, but no, that was a pretty frequent winter. Kicked our butt time to time, but
yeah, and we'll see how this year goes.
Yes,
could be a repeat. Could be, who knows?
Well, if it's that bad, we know we can do it.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. What are some of the things that make your job harder as you're plowing streets? What makes it harder?
Cars parked on the road, number one, and then we'll get people that'll plow their snow into the road. Those are our two biggest problems that we have. I guess another problem is cars cutting snowplows off. We've had number of cars on steep roads cut us off, and then they get stuck, and it's kind of hard to back a snowplow down a hill. So
yeah, or stop it on the way down.
Yeah.
So what makes it hard? Like a car's parked there, you can't just go around. What makes that so difficult?
Well, we can go around, but I mean, we don't get to do our job as thorough as we would like. Sometimes we have to go around 3 or 4 cars, go around the block and wait a couple days till they move. So, I mean, we got to do our job more than once. So if we get cars off the road, we could just do it once and be done.
Do it and be done.
Yep.
So here's our ordinance. It actually prohibits parking on city streets for 48 hours as soon as snow starts to accumulate. And we haven't had to extend that. If the mayor needed to, he could, if it's a really big storm. So I think that's a lot more lenient than some other cities. I know some cities that say no parking from November to March.
Yeah.
We've decided you can park unless it's snowing and then get out of the way.
I think that's more than fair, for sure.
So you can get most things done in 48 hours?
Yeah, so a full shift will take 7 hours if it comes in storms and then moves out. It'll take a full 7 hours, and we don't go home till every road is hit unless it starts melting off. So,
wow. So this is adequate. Get them off the road, 48 hours once snow starts to accumulate, and let our crews get through and get done. And it takes teamwork with the residents too, not only to move cars, but there's only certain places you can put snow, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it's in their driveway.
Mm-hmm.
So don't put it back in the road.
Yep, we do it to ourselves too, so don't take it personal.
So as we look at, one of the questions that I get asked most often is, when is my road going to be plowed? How do you determine which roads to plow and when?
So we got 4 priorities. We got major roads, and they're our number 1 priority. Depends on the day. We'll hit the roads that lead to schools. Schools are our number 1 priority. That's the first thing we hit. And if it's on a Sunday, we'll hit churches, hit all those main roads. Our priority number 2 is the minor roads, main roads and subdivisions, roads like that. And our 3rd priority is all the other roads. Priority number 4 is dead end roads and cul-de-sacs. They're our biggest problems because they usually have the most cars, and we can't back up. It's one of our policies. So me as a big truck driver, I won't go in a cul-de-sac if there's any cars at all because I can't get around. So those are our 4 biggest priorities. So.
And if the snow comes at once and then it's gone, you can work through 1 to 4, right?
Yep.
But if it continues to snow, you may not get to number 3.
Yes, we've had storms where we've hit 1 and finished, and then we had to start all over. So there's been plenty of people saying we haven't plowed their road in years. But we do hit every road before we go home. It does take some time.
Time runs differently when
Yes.
you're in a snowstorm, so it might feel like years.
Yes,
So,
it does.
So here's kind of a breakdown of our priority map. So correct me if I'm wrong, but there's 3 different areas, and you break down those areas, and how many trucks go into each area?
So there is 3 areas, and each area will have 2 trucks.
Okay, and these are the 2 big trucks that do the roads, not the dead ends and
Yep.
cul-de-sacs.
Yes.
Okay. Focus on, like Gentry said, the big roads, and then the collector roads and school routes, and then get down to those other other roads. So, what's your favorite area to plow? Do you have one?
I would say area number 1 is my favorite. We get the oaks and all the tricky areas. So if you don't have enough salt, you'll be sliding. So not a lot of guys like to do that area, but it's one of my favorite. Kind of keeps it interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You like a challenge, though.
Yeah,
You've always
yeah.
been up for that. So, maybe as we wrap up here, what do you wish every resident knew about your job when you're in that snowplow?
We're just trying to get the snow off the road and go back to our families. We're not trying to slow down, keep you from your daily lives. We're just trying to clear the road for you. So just let us clear it, and I guess stay out of our way so we can.
Yeah, help us help you.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And no matter what time of day, right? What were some of your hours? Holidays. What did you have to work last year?
I say we worked New Year's Eve. We got called in about 3 in the morning. We plowed all the way till 6 in the afternoon, so it was a long day. That's the biggest day I remember.
Yeah. Wow. And you do have some federal regulations as far as hours you're allowed to work
Yes.
at a time.
Mhm.
What are those regulations?
So a driver's shift is supposed to be 12 hours, but we're at times shorthanded, so a lot of us will stick with it and work till someone can switch them out. So.
Well, I know I appreciate you, and I think I can speak for the rest of Spanish Fork that appreciates all that you do. When the snow comes down, we know it presents different challenges and different things, but it's what we do, and we're proud to do it. Any last thoughts as we get into winter here?
No, it's just I do want to say I appreciate the people that actually go out and help others plow their driveways, and they actually help us plow the dead end roads and everything. So I do want to say we appreciate that. It makes our job a little bit easier. Other than that, no, let's just drive safe.
Awesome. I think the last thing is you mentioned an app that you use. You use that to mark roads you've done. You also mark the cars that are parked,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that will send out reminders to maybe certain trouble spots, but that also goes over to the police department, who steps in and helps out. And if you park on the road, chances are you're going to get a citation this year, and you probably got one last year. That's something that we're really focused on, to not only keep our drivers safe, but keep everyone else safe so these roads can get cleared. So Please stay off the roads when it's snowing. Park somewhere else, and we'll get through this winter together. Thanks for coming. We sure appreciate you joining us. We're going to watch. This is our winter parking promo video. We'll take a look at that as just kind of a last reminder of what you can and can't do when the snow starts to accumulate.
During winter months, Spanish Fork City is committed to removing snow and ice from public roads as quickly as possible to provide safe travel for citizens. City ordinances regarding snow removal requires residents to remove vehicles from public streets once snow begins accumulating for up to 48 hours. Doing so allows streets to be cleared more thoroughly and creates less incidents of damaged vehicles or trailers during plowing operations. The mayor has authority to extend the 48 hours in the event of an unusually large storm. You can assist in snow removal operations in several other ways. Travel at a safe distance from snowplows at all times. Never pass or attempt to stop a snow removal vehicle. Advise children never to play near or in a snowbank near the roadway. Exercise extreme caution when driving in inclement weather. Safety for you, other motorists, and pedestrians is the highest priority. For more information, visit SpanishFork.org and the city's social media pages.
With winter coming, that means construction season has just ended, and we want to wrap up and talk about some of the projects that were completed within the last construction year. Many of those we've talked about already on the road show. So I'm joined with our traffic engineer, Dylan Weybrook, and our engineering division manager, Jared Johnson, to walk us through some of the projects that were completed this year. I think the first one, and the one we've talked about the most anticipated project probably, was the opening of Spanish Fork Parkway. And that finally got done.
Yes, it was completed this year. We've got a few things just to wrap up. Landscaping, some signs here and there, but more importantly, we've actually applied for the no quiet zone permit, and we've got that applied through with the railroad, and it should take about 3 to 4 months to complete. They might have a few things that we need to add to the project to get that approved, but we look forward to getting that done here shortly.
So that means no horn required at that crossing?
Yeah, correct. They have to come back out on site, make sure things were built safely, turn it into a quiet zone, so it just takes paperwork, a lot of permitting, and the railroad just to approve it.
Now that doesn't mean the horn's going to go away necessarily, right? There's still crossings just to the north and just to the south.
Right. The only quiet zone will be this particular crossing. The ones to the south and the north, they'll still sound their horns.
Okay. So I think maybe we'll notice a small decrease in.
Yeah, if you live right next to the crossing, you definitely it'll be a lot better, but you can still hear the one down at 4th North.
Okay, awesome. We had a great opening event for that. Really fun to get a few hundred people together and have some free food and celebrate that road crossing opening, and appreciate all the hard work that went into that on the part of a lot of different people. So, okay, some of those other projects, I think, Dylan, you wanted to walk us through some roundabouts and signals and lane changes.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the celebration that we were able to have for Spanish Fork Parkway opening up, and that was a lot of fun. We did a smaller scale celebration for our big roundabout project this year. That was on 400 North and 300 West. Every project's got its complications. I think a lot of folks in the city will, if they live close to our projects, they will have seen those complications, but this project went altogether pretty smoothly. We were able to get done on schedule and open before school started, which was our biggest priority, so that it would be safe and ready for the students and the traffic. It went really quite well, and it turned out beautifully. We really like how it looks and how it works. We've been watching it, monitoring it, and we think that just as we were hoping and expecting, we think the pedestrians' safety is a lot higher. We think that the traffic safety is a lot higher. And it seems to be operating optimally. So we're very pleased with how this one turned out.
Fantastic.
One of the big ones that we had going on this summer in the area of US 6 was our 1000 North widening project. This project, if you remember correctly, this image kind of shows what it is now, but before this, we actually had a traffic signal here, and we had a left turn and all sorts of things going on. We took out all that friction, we took away all those conflict points, made it a straight through for the traffic on 1000 North. We added that capacity, and it's running a lot better now. We don't have as many holdups there. A lot of people are still frustrated when they see lines of cars at this intersection, but that's what you get when you have a big U.S. highway, US 6, that intersects one of our biggest commercial roads, which is 1000 North and Canyon Creek Parkway. So we do our best, but hold tight, Spanish Fork. We're working on solving that issue, but we might need to get US 6 elevated or something of that nature before we can really solve that intersection problem. So our next project that was similar was we widened Expressway Lane. That's the road that passes right in front of the new Target, between the Arby's and the McDonald's there by US 6. We added a couple of lanes here, made it a lot safer and better for people who are coming into and out of our Canyon Creek shopping area, and especially for the Target. One of the features of that project was installing a new traffic signal right at the entrance to Target. We know how many people were going to be at Target. I think we've maybe even been surprised by how many people are there in the first couple of weeks, but that traffic signal is a great addition, and it makes it safer and easier for people to get in and out of that area. So another great project that we finished up this year. Just down the road from Target and that signal, we have another brand new signal at Marketplace Drive and Expressway Lane. This signal was a nice one because we didn't do any changes to the roadway. All we did was repainted. We changed the lanes a little bit and widened just with our paint, but we didn't actually have to put any new asphalt down. And that's a great cost savings for the city, and we still got all of the benefit of the signal that we needed. So that one's been doing great. Safety was the big issue there, and the signal has gone in and really helped with the safety issue and kind of solved a lot of those problems. So we're pleased to see that.
Perfect.
Next, this is down on Main Street. This is a project that's not actually being run by the city. This is being run by a developer in the area, but this project includes adding that fourth leg onto Volunteer Drive and Main Street. If you remember, this is coming out of the sports park right there near the dugout and Wendy's, and we've always had just the three legs of this intersection until now. Now the developer is building a new subdivision on the east side of this intersection, and as part of that, they're putting in this nice new road. So this signal was recently completed. We're almost ready to open that road, and it'll be a lot better for people who use the River Bottoms and South Lane. Will now be able to take advantage of this new road in the signalized intersection. It'll be a lot safer for them. So.
Yeah, otherwise it was just trying to get onto Main Street.
Oh yeah.
Without a light protection.
And that left turn was a scary one.
Yeah.
I live in that area, and I know that that one's a scary one to try to turn left onto Main Street. So we're happy to have this signal here now. We're really grateful for UDOT's help too. UDOT was great to work with, and they helped us get this done as well. This is their road, so.
All good.
Alrighty, so continuing on with some traffic signals. We had quite a bit of work this year, as you can see, but we're getting through them. So one of the traffic signals that we really wanted to get in this year for safety as well was the one at 800 North and 400 East. This signal it's installed in a unique place in the city. We're in a residential area with houses on all sides, but this intersection is just a couple blocks away from Costco and Macy's and everything else going on in our commercial district. So this intersection saw a lot of traffic going east and west on 800 North, and a lot of traffic going north and south on 400 East. And we had a lot of safety issues here because it was just a stop sign before. Mm-hmm. So now we finally got this signal in. We talked about it in our last version of the road show, how this was going to work. But this signal operates in what we call a split phase. That's engineering jargon for when you go north or south, you get to turn left and go straight all at the same time because you share a lane, but the opposing traffic doesn't get to go. Does that make sense?
So it's just like the light 2 blocks away, right?
Exactly.
By Costco and Slim Chickens.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly like that one. Yeah, it works that way because when you share a left turn lane with a through lane, what we don't want to have is if, let's say I'm in the front and I'm turning left, but I'm waiting for cars coming at me, everyone that's trying to go through that signal would have to wait behind me because we're in the same lane.
Right.
So we're trying to avoid that. That's how a split phase works, and this has been working pretty well. People just have to kind of get used to it. It's a little bit different.
So it's not broken.
Not broken.
You just need to be a little more patient.
Yeah, just be patient.
Okay.
If you have a red light, but people are coming straight at you, that's how it's designed, so don't worry about it. So the next projects that we can talk about were also development projects that weren't run by the city but are important to our city roads.
Yeah, 1400 North, 1900 North, and 1600 North were all reconstructed this year. These are the truck routes in our industrial area. We've seen a lot of development down in that area, so we've tried to get some truck routes and get connections from Main Street to our third west. And one of the connections was 1400 North that was completed this year. The other one was 1900 North, and that was completed this year. 1600 North was just reapproved and added, or rebuilt, I would say, to add storm drain and some curb and gutter and widen that road.
So these are the roads, if you're going towards the airport on North Main, that kind of, 3 different roads that turn left before you get to the airport, right?
Correct, and that's how you get out to the west side of town. But more importantly, all the trucks coming from the west side of town have routes to Main Street. They don't have to come down to 900 North anymore. Underneath the freeway, they can take 1400 North, 1900 North, and all these roads will be directly connected out to the west.
Okay, great. And I think I'm going to think of maybe 2 other projects we've talked about last time, and this is probably where you're headed, the 2 lights on Center Street, right? So those are up and going.
Yeah,
Use
yeah.
those every day.
Yeah, those have been great. When we first built those, we got a lot of feedback from our residents, helpful feedback, but they were noticing that those lights, they didn't work very well, that you'd have to sit there for a while, and sometimes it would change for no reason. The reason for that actually was the fact that when we ordered that material from our state suppliers, we weren't able to get the equipment that knows when you're there. We have radar on these traffic signals, and they tell you when a car is there and when a car isn't there. And we weren't able to get that equipment in when we got those signals built. It took us a couple of months. So those were on a timer for a couple of months. But we fixed that. Hopefully everyone who drives through those intersections has noticed that they work a lot better now. And we're pleased with how they're going. But yeah, so we have the intersection of 800 East and Center Street, another really dangerous intersection with a lot of crashes over the last couple of years. This signal's been really helpful, and we've seen some good results. A lot of pedestrians use this area as well, so we've seen a lot of good things happening with this new signal. And then we also have the 630 West signal and the widening that went along with it. The city's been working on building the new SFCN headquarters and building on this corner, and as part of that project, we've been widening 630 West in preparation for the future. And we built that new signal, and those have both been working really well. We're pretty pleased with those projects as well. So,
Awesome.
other side of town, this was one that another project that we're really proud of this year because it's really expensive to do these projects if you have to widen and pave new road and buy people's property. No one likes that, right? Then people lose their property. The city has to pay all this money that we don't want to have to pay. So these are great projects because 1150 East. What we're able to do is we utilized the existing width of the pavement, right, the existing roadway that we had, and we did a whole new striping plan. We took out the stop sign that was there at 300 South where Larson Elementary is, and then to make sure that it was even safer than the stop sign before, we put in these new concrete islands, these shoulder islands that have signs and flashers in them so that the students who cross that road before and after school have a safe way to do so. We have had great feedback from our residents and the parents of the children at this school and the school themselves. They've said great things about how it's working. And I know that everyone who drives through this intersection is very appreciative that there's no longer a stop sign. So
Yeah, and that was a big change when we did it. A lot of people didn't understand the reasonings, and I think now that sometimes they need to see the results, and then maybe can hopefully have some trust that we're not just making random decisions to remove stop signs, but we're really trying to do things better and safer. And it's working as intended.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it is, and that's the key part. Is we never take these things lightly. These are never decisions that we make on a whim. And when we choose to do these things, we study it before and after to make sure that it's still as safe as we want it to be. And in this case, it's been just as safe, even safer than we thought it would be, and so we're very pleased with it. Other features of this project, we added those bike lanes in. This turns out, who would have thought, but 1150 East turns out to be one of the busier bike corridors in the city. So we added dedicated bike lanes, and then on the north portion, as we approach Center Street, we added in a couple of extra lanes, made it a little bit simpler for people to get to their right turn or left turn onto Center Street. So,
Yeah, it helps get to the school right there, right, or up to US 6 and to wherever you need to be. I'm tired listening to all those projects, and you guys are the ones who actually made them happen this year. I think that's a pretty banner year for for traffic and projects in even maybe the city's history. So how does it feel to have accomplished that, Jared? This is a lot.
This was one of our busiest construction seasons we've had that I can think of in the past. We've got plenty more projects coming. Probably just as many as we did this year we're going to be doing next year and the next years after that. So transportation or traffic issues in Spanish Fork have become a big situation or a big problem, so we're trying to help the situation. So we've got a lot of projects and a lot of things to look forward to.
Well, and that's how the Roadshow was born, and hopefully this has been helpful. It's been fun for us to learn and talk about these projects. Hopefully it's been helpful for you to hear about them. Just quick highlights. Jared, I'll give you 60 seconds to talk about the 3 UDOT projects: Dry Creek Parkway, Center Street Interchange, and US 6 widening. Where are all those projects now? And maybe that'll be our topic of the next Roadshow, and we'll dive in a little deeper, but 60 seconds on those.
Okay, Dry Creek Interchange, that's been through design and right away, pretty much finished up there. The bid's gone out. Construction should begin this spring on the first phase of construction for that project. Should wrap up in about 2 or 3 years finish-wise.
And that's Spanish Fork, Springville.
That's the 2700 north, 600 south.
Okay.
Center Street Interchange in Spanish Fork, we're going through the environmental stage. That's going to take another month to complete, at least in the first phase of that, and then they got a few other things they got to do. We're still years and years away from construction or design on that project, but we're just doing the environmental, and it's the needs and
Purpose.
Purpose and needs is what we're looking at. So.
And UDOT just presented that in City Council meeting, so
did.
you can go find that on Spanish Fork 17's YouTube page and get the full 35-minute presentation from them.
And US 6 widening will be constructed this spring, this construction season. It was put off due to they couldn't get any bids in last year, so they put it with a bigger project. They got the bids back, it's been awarded, and construction should begin this spring. So.
Okay, that'll be a great project. It's going to be really tough for all of us for a year while they do it, but we'll talk about that in our next roadshow. Maybe we can get some designs, hopefully, and show what UDOT plans to do. But thanks for coming and sharing all this. Congratulations. This is a big deal, a big year for us. So really proud of what we've been able to do, and hopefully all the residents have been able to feel the projects and the benefit. We told you when we announced the roadshow that, hey, traffic, we're going to ease traffic over the next year, and hopefully you've been able to see that, and we'll continue with some of these projects. So thanks for joining. Big thanks to Spanish Fork 17 for producing the roadshow, and we'll see you next time.